record on the computer. And oh, we got Melissa and Guadalupe just joining us. Welcome. Okay, so we're going to be starting with this topic of guided discovery. Before I explain what guided discovery is, I'd like you to please tell me. Tell your partner, in fact. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students, 5 trainees. I'd like you to tell your partner your answers to these questions. Okay, so questions are, what's your most memorable learning experience? Okay, put this in the chat there. How would this experience have been even more memorable, if possible? Maybe it wouldn't have done, but okay. But the main thing is to talk about your most memorable learning experience, whether when you were a child or an adult, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to talk about that in the breakout rooms. Just a little warm up. Okay. And let's see, 2 groups, I think. So it's Alitzel and Angel and Lupe, Yvonne, and Melissa. Just a couple of minutes. Excuse me. Starting now. Please go to your rooms. So what's your most memorable learning experience, and how would it be even more memorable? Angel, you need to go to your breakout room.
Hi, Angel.
Hi, Anton. How are you?
I'm excited to be hearing you.
Me too. I'm excited. How was your day?
So I was thinking about the most memorable learning experience, and I think that it was in an English class. It was from 8 to 1 p.m., so 5 hours. So all class was.
It was just funny. It's just funny to look back. How about you?
Me too. I went to the US when in 2000, and I was 10 years old, and of course it was learning a whole new language I never experienced before, and
Yeah.
it's memorable for me. And yeah, that's it. We used to learn by listening to recordings, and the teacher had to take us out of the classroom and put us in a private room and do all this listening. And how would it have been even more memorable for you?
I think it was just perfect.
Okay.
It was memorable enough for me to learn and to keep those memories with me. How about you?
Well, I think we would have been if I could have stayed for a longer period of time in that country. Yeah, because I only stayed for 4 years, but the experience was great. Yeah. And how about you,
Yeah.
Yvonne?
And you were little, like when I believe when you're little, you learn a lot
Yeah,
faster
you learn
than when you're older. I was 15 when I came here, so it was hard because people made fun of me, and
Me too.
that was not funny, like fun at all. But now that I look back, it's like haha. But
Yeah.
but it's definitely a rough path.
Yeah,
but here we are.
it's worth it.
Those memories are with us still, and
Always.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's special. We gotta go back. All
Yeah.
right.
Oh, welcome back. Now, Alitzel mentioned that her most memorable experience was in an English class. Can you tell me what was special about that, Alitzel?
Yeah, I was remembering that my teacher took us out of the classroom. So it was very funny to learn new subjects, and the target also was very, we also focused on the target, but it was in a funny way. So for example, playing games out in the garden, and it was very funny with our parents, and yeah, it was very different. I think it's the most excited experience learning with that teacher.
Was it because it didn't feel like a normal class?
Yeah, it feels very different. And also, I was sharing with my partner that that class, especially, it was on Sundays. So it was for long 5 hours, and I felt that it was only 1 hour. So the time passed very fast. Yeah.
Great. Melissa, you mentioned you lived in the US for a while, right?
Yeah, during 4 years.
Okay, so your method of learning, your way of learning English there was, would you say it was more sort of natural than in the classroom?
I didn't get that part. I'm sorry. It was.
Was it more natural than as if you were in the classroom? When you were learning English in the US, did you learn it in a more natural way, do you think, than in the classroom? Is that why it was more memorable?
Yeah, the memories I have is that this teacher, the English teacher, they assigned me, had to take us out of the class sometimes and put some recordings so we can practice the English. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
It was fun.
All right, so we're going to consider now. We're going to do a little demonstration lesson, very short one. In fact, we're going to do 2 demonstration lessons today. First up, we're going to do one about this subject. Okay, how healthy or unhealthy are you? Okay, so I'd like to get some examples from everyone here. Let's begin with Lupe, first of all. Tell me.
Can you call me Lupita? I don't like Lupe.
Okay, Lupita's fine. Lupita, tell us how healthy or unhealthy are you? Can you give us some examples?
Well, I just had surgery, gallbladder surgery, a year ago. So I'm trying to get better.
So what are you doing to help yourself get better?
Yeah, I eat when I'm supposed to. I used to skip breakfast, so now I don't.
Okay, 18 times, good.
I
Yeah.
drink a lot more water, definitely. Cut the sugars.
Reduce sugar intake.
Yes.
Okay, and let's ask someone else that hasn't had a chance to speak so far. Yvonne, how healthy are you or unhealthy are you? Give us some examples.
I consider that I healthy. I feel healthy. So I think is exercise 3 or 4 times a week. It's other it's great if you wanted to be healthy. No, it's
Uh-huh.
not. Other is try to sleep 8 hours every day. It's important for our mental health. So what else? I don't know. Eat your routine time. Yeah.
Is there
Uh,
anything you do that's not healthy?
this is healthy. No,
Okay, but tell me, is there anything you do that's not healthy?
no healthy. For example, don't exercise during the week. Maybe like I don't know. Maybe most of the people just watch TV all the time, or when or try to eat fast food. No, fast food like French fries, maybe.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Eat fatty food. Okay, good. Now, I'd like you to get out the text that I sent you by email. So the first text is guided discovery demo. Okay. Okay. Can you see it? Let me put it on the screen now. We'll come back to these things that we've saved on the screen now. And here we are. Oh, yes, there it is. Okay, I need you to get this text out, please. Can you give me a thumbs up when you have it? Give me a thumb when you have the text. Thank you.
Sorry, I've also received the email, but I didn't receive the document.
Okay, I'll send it by chat now.
I don't have anything. I don't have
Okay.
that document. I didn't receive an email.
You didn't receive the email. Wonder why that is. Okay. Did you check in the junk mail and the spam? Sometimes they go into spam.
Let me check.
Okay. So it's going into chat now. Please open it and find the text. And I'd like you to read. You've got 2 minutes to read the text and see which of the things we mentioned that Sam does that's healthy or unhealthy. Okay. Starting now. 2 minutes. Read the text. What does she do that we do? Does she do the same as us?
I don't have it. Is there any way that you
Well, I've
could
just sent
maybe...
it through the chat. So if you look in the chat,
Oh, okay, perfect.
yeah,
Thank
open the chat.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, now you have it.
thank you.
So the question is, what does she do that's healthy or unhealthy, the same that we do on our list here?
You just say what are some things that we see on the list also?
Yeah, the ones that
That she
on the
does.
list that we mentioned, like eat at routine times, drink water, sleep 8 hours a day, not exercising during the week, both healthy and unhealthy, right? Okay, so does she eat at routine times? Let's check the answers. Does she eat at regular times?
No, she says that
No.
she only eats breakfast and
Okay. So that's a cross. Does she drink water? Does she mention? Does she drink plenty of water?
I don't think she mentioned.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
She
no,
mentioned
we
she
don't
drinks
mention that
coffee.
then.
Yeah,
Does she reduce her sugar intake?
she didn't mention it.
She didn't mention it, so we'll leave that question. Does she do regular exercise?
Says
No.
she doesn't have time.
No. Okay, so that's another X. Does she try to sleep 8 hours a day?
I don't think it's possible because she works 12 hours.
Okay, let's put a question mark there because it doesn't explicitly say. Does she exercise during the week?
No.
No?
I don't
No.
Does she eat fatty food?
Yeah, at the breakfast, yes. No.
Okay,
She
so
tried
let's put a
to
tick there. She does eat fatty food then, shall we?
yeah.
All right, now so let's go back to our text. Do you think she's a healthy person looking at her lifestyle? Does anyone think she's a healthy person? Not really, right?
No, no,
Ah,
definitely not.
ah.
No.
Okay, so I'd like you to look at these expressions. Most days, more often than not, most of the time, every now and again, every so often, and once in a while. How many are there? 6, right?
6, yeah.
Okay, I'd like you to work through these exercises. Complete the table with them. What do you think is the missing word here?
maybe frequency.
Frequency, right? So it's probably it's not letting me change that, but I would write the word frequency there. Okay, and so we need to put lower frequency and higher frequency, right? So you decide which is higher and which are lower. 3 higher, 3 lower. Then write as many possible words to complete the expressions of frequency. Okay, if you wish, you could use the Cambridge Online Dictionary to see if there are any examples. Sometimes you can look in dictionaries to if you get stuck for ideas. So let me just give you the address of that. Cambridge Dictionary. There we are. There we go. And so what else do we have to do? So try and complete these expressions of frequency, see how many variants, how many variations you can find. Some of them are going to be fixed, don't change. There are others that can be variations. And answer this question, where can these expressions go in a sentence? Is it the beginning of the sentence? Is it the middle or the end? Okay, so this is for you to look at the text while you're doing this and analyze it. Okay, so I'm going to put you into your breakout rooms again. I'm going to give you about about 6 minutes, this time a bit longer. Okay. So please don't spend time chatting, just get on with it, yeah? Starting now. Please go to your breakout rooms, Angel and Tanya. Thank you.
So what about the lower frequency?
Okay.
Low frequency, more open
Once
than
in a
the-
while.
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
More often than not.
Yeah.
And every so often, because in higher frequency, I got most days, most of the time, and every now and again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Did you got the same, Angel?
Yeah, I have this every so often. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Then the next is write as many possible words to complete expressions of frequency. Okay. Write as many.
Once in a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every now and again. And
Yeah.
again.
Every now and
Most days.
Yeah. Most days, because the next one is most of the
Most of the time. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Every so often.
Complete expression of frequency. For
Okay.
example, it is once in a week. Once in a
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's very
I
good,
can see
Yvonne.
it.
Yes, there's variation. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like once in a blue moon. Have you heard that expression?
Yeah.
Okay. And every now and
every now
every now and
and okay. I know
that's
here every now. Okay, we have to looking for the answer. Maybe I think Andrew give us a link
yeah.
to
A dictionary.
dictionary. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, dictionary Cambridge. Yeah, I got it. I'm opening it up.
Who's sharing the screen? Because thank you. I don't have the document.
Oh,
That's me
Is-
sharing the screen, but it's a good idea while you're working on these activities in breakout rooms to share the screen if you can, yeah?
okay.
Yeah. So just do the first two work in pairs activities, right? This
Okay.
and this. Yeah, you've got to think of many different ways as you can of completing these expressions. Right? And also consider
Okay.
where they go in a sentence. Okay, but
Mhm.
don't do the pronunciation because we're going to do that
Okay.
later.
All right. So You want us to share the,
Every now and again, you feel tired at midday.
In which
Okay.
word?
Every now and again.
So
Okay.
the first part?
Yeah, the first part.
Mm,
That's
Every
a
now and
possible, yes, that's a possible way of saying it. Yeah, every now and again. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay. Every now and again.
I think it's in the time expressions.
You've got about 1 minute left, so just make sure completing this part and also this part here, yeah?
Okay.
Because
Mm,
in this situation, we are trying to make emphasis in the time expressions. So I think that's where is the most stressed mark. What is the most stressed mark?
Don't do the stress yet, please. Yeah, we're
Oh.
just doing
Sorry.
this part,
Okay.
this part, and this part, yeah?
Okay.
Okay,
okay.
let's check our answers to the first two parts then.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Recording in progress.
All right, so let us check.
Every now and again, I feel tired by midday.
All right, so here's the PowerPoint with the answers on it. Okay, so let's just confirm our answers. Did you get once in a while, every now so often, every now and again for a lower frequency?
Yep.
Yeah. More often than
Yes.
not, most of the time and most days
Yeah.
for higher frequency. All right. So that was easy enough, wasn't it? But what about these ones? What did you get for here? Oops, shit, sorry. No. So what did you get for once in a any ideas?
Once in a while.
Once in a while. Okay. Any other ideas? Once in a
Well,
Yvonne said week. I think that's
once
what,
in a week.
yeah. Did-
No, not really. We don't really say that.
Okay.
We usually say once a week,
Once
yeah,
a week.
but not once in a week.
Once in a life.
Once in a lifetime, like the song by Talking Heads, right? So, yeah. So, scrap that. In a lifetime. Good. Are there any others you thought of? Once in a. What about blue moon? Once in a blue moon. Okay, what do we call this? This expression has a special name. Once in a blue moon is a idiom.
Idiom.
Once in a blue moon, right? Okay, good. Every now and what?
Again.
Again, that's certainly one example, yes. Any others? Every now and what about then? Every now and then. Yeah. What about most?
of the days, of the time.
You can say most days. Most. You can say different parts of the day as well. So you can say most mornings.
Most of all. Could be.
No, because it's not an expression of frequency.
Okay.
Most of the time.
That would be this one most of the time, but there are other expressions with most. So you could say most mornings,
Afternoon.
most evenings.
Okay.
Yeah, but notice it's plural. In each of these cases, it's plural. Most evenings, most afternoons. Yeah. All expressions of frequency. And then was it you that said most of the time, Angel? Most of the time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. Most of the time. Any others?
Most of the year.
Yeah, you could say day, most of the day, year, week. Right. Okay. Every
day.
we can use it's with so, isn't it? Every so
Yeah.
every so
Often.
many days. Every so many days. Because we need to have the so there.
Okay.
Every so many days, every so many weeks. Okay, so these are the possible variations, right? There's some flexibility in the way these expressions can be realized and they still deliver the same or similar meaning. Some are fixed, like once in a blue moon, right? It doesn't change. Yeah. Or once in a lifetime is like fixed. So let's put an F there. Oops. Some of the others have sort of more flexibility. Some have plural, like S. So that we're focusing on the form now, yeah? Every so many days is weeks, plural there, but these are singular. Most of that is singular. Okay. Now, how do we find these expressions? Well, they're taken from a bank of language called a corpus. Now, the Mormon University, Brigham Young University has one. Many large universities, well, not many, but some that specialize in linguistics have their own corpuses. And it's a collection of samples of language that you can input an expression to find out how it's used. Right. So statistically, we know that these are the ways that these are formed. That these are the variations, the permitted variations. Right. Now, let's focus now on pronunciation. Okay, so I'd like you to listen to my recording and highlight using little dots where the stress is in the sentence. Right. So with the first one, you'll hear every, now, and again. I feel. This is where the stress goes. Tired by midday. Okay. So let's listen and check that that's the case. Dogs are going crazy in the background. Okay, so let me get to the. Oh, yes, there we are. Music. So guided discovery, connected speech. Okay. Did I share the sound? Share sound. Okay, quick audio check. Every now and again, I feel tired by midday. More often than not, I'll just have a sandwich. I do have the occasional drink once in a while. Okay, so listen again and make sure that you're writing the stress on the words on your handout that I've given you. So it's on this handout. There you go. And you've got to put the stress mark on the correct words. Are there any sounds that connect to others? Okay, so let's listen again. Can you detect any linking between words? Sorry. Turn it up as much as I can. Sorry, I didn't record it that loud. There you go. Every now and again, I feel tired by midday. More often than not, I'll just have a sandwich. I do have the occasional drink once in a while. Okay, so what did you notice? All right, I'm going to nominate one student to tell me about the first one, the second one. Is the PowerPoint. Okay, so Yvonne, tell us about more often than not, I'll just have a sandwich. Where's the stress going?
I'm not sure, but I think it's in more.
Yeah?
Or, or often.
Often, yeah?
Or often. Or often not.
Yeah, probably not as well than not.
I'll
Yeah?
just
Uh-huh.
have.
Have is probably not going to be stressed. It's probably going to be like this. It's probably what we call weak, right?
I just have a sandwich. Sandwich.
I'll just have a, yeah, actually, no, it's a main verb actually. So maybe it would be stressed. Okay. It's not an auxiliary here, is it? I'll is the auxiliary. So yeah, possibly we could be stressing have. I'll just have a sandwich. Yeah. So I've changed my mind there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about the linking? Where do you think the words are linked together?
Not.
Probably here, right? The not. Right? They become like one word. Yeah, and then you've got this n sound that links the two words together. With this, the have is probably the have is it's an of sound like that because the h is dropped. I'll just have a sandwich. Yeah? Okay, let's ask someone else. What about Tanya? What do you think is the stressed words in I do have the occasional drink once in a while?
I do.
Yeah. Okay, do. Yeah, to
Mm,
because you're maybe sort of what's the word? Emphasizing, right?
yeah. I do have the have. Yeah, have as the
Have, yeah.
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 Occasional.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
Probably drink as well, right? Because that's probably quite important for the understanding. Yeah.
And once in a while.
Yeah.
Once in a while. Yes, I do have the occasional drink. Once in a while.
Yeah.
Once.
Okay. Once. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, wow. Good. Maybe is there any linking, do you think? Linking between the words?
You know,
Drink once.
Probably
once, you know.
probably here once in a
Once.
once in a while. Yeah. Good. Okay. No. So that's where our little demo finishes. And I'd like you to think about the demo in some detail. Okay, so the questions are, what was the language focus? Why was this a memorable learning experience? And what did the teacher do and what would follow? Okay, so I'm going to give you a little document to complete online. Just get this up. Oh. Gonna have Alitzel, Melissa, and to working together in group A. I'll have Angel and Tanya working together. And Lupita, Yvonne, and Paula working together. Okay, can you please access these Google Docs that I've sent you by that I'm sending you by the chat? Okay, click on your Google Doc, please. Okay, now let's go into your breakout rooms. Now, what I want you to do is please complete these first 4 questions, just the first 4. Yeah, don't go any further. Okay, we're focusing just on the demonstration lesson first. All right, is that okay? Then we'll look at the general discussion question. So, can I nominate one person to be the writer in each group? So, Alitzel, could you please be the writer in group A? Angel, could you please be the writer in group B? And Yvonne, please be the writer in group C. So you write directly onto the Google Doc, yeah?
Okay, I am in.
So yeah, let's begin. Recreate. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh, there's no Paula, is there? My mistake. There we go. Please join your rooms and work together to complete the 4 questions.
I've already wrote. I've already wrote that is analyzing texts, I think.
Okay. Okay. What was the language focus analyzing test? Why was this a memorable learning experience? This is about what we just did.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I think is memorable because we had the opportunity to manipulate the
Can you see my screen?
What was the language focus?
Yes.
Focus on expressing
Time
the
expressions. Yes.
the expressions of frequency, the time expressions.
Why was this memorable learning experience?
Why was this a memorable learning experience? To communicate and no? To communicate a period of time of the or
About the routines?
and the duration of something.
Okay. What did the teacher do?
He
He guided
he
us.
what?
Maybe he guided us about.
Yeah, but he gave us a recording about the time expression, no, about the stress of the time expressions.
The stress?
The stress. He gave about the stress of the time. Yeah. He gave us, no? Gave us in past.
I just gave up.
Yeah.
But I think Angel was onto something there when he said that he was guiding us. Yeah. Especially in the when we were focusing on the meaning of the expressions, right? Which were the less frequent ones and which were the more frequent ones. Right? And
Okay.
also how you form the expressions, right? Because
Yeah.
I was guiding you to work it out for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, in general.
Yeah.
Well, I believe like guide us through it.
What did the
It just
teacher do?
he just asked us a lot of questions, you know what I mean, so that we would answer.
First, he showed us uh, a short text about
A reading.
it was a reading about frequencies, no? Very we count or we could find different kind of phrases. No. What did the
Different types of what?
What did the teacher do? First, he showed us he
The
showed
text.
us a text with some examples, no? Of
A frequency.
phrases, no? Phrases of frequency. Then okay, then we try to find new words, no? New words.
Yeah, that when we had to like, well, we had to differentiate first lower and higher frequency.
Yeah. Then we work in groups. We work in groups to
find to express, I guess, lower or higher frequency.
which of them has lower frequency, lower or higher frequency. Yeah.
Then it came to looking for new words to use.
Finally, we look for new.
Oh no, we gotta go.
Así por
Good. Okay, let's just see what your answers were.
Finally, we look for new words.
Okay. So group A, you put this. So what was the language focus? You said it was analyzing text. Not really. Can anyone give a better answer than that? What was the language, the target language there? This is closer, time expressions. So that's a bit better from Angel and Tanya. And phrases which express frequency is better still, yeah. We call them adverbials or adverbial phrases or frequency. We could also say, in more general terms, it was like a Lexis lesson or vocabulary lesson. Because the main focus is on the meaning, giving us different ways of saying things. Why was this a memorable experience? Get to know the different frequency expressions. Yeah, but you could do that in any sort of lesson. Why was guided discovery a more memorable learning experience? Yeah. Still not really satisfactory, those answers. I'll give you a better answer in a while. What did the teachers do? Yes, instructing and nominating through the activity. He gave us regard. What do you mean? Oh, guided us. Yes, I think the key word is guiding there. Showed us a text, some examples. We worked in groups to decide which of them had higher frequency, and finally we looked for new words. Okay, that's, yeah, a bit better. And what would follow? Well, we did pronunciation, but yeah, we would do practice. Controlled and then freer practice. Like in a PPP lesson, right? PPP, present, practice, produce. All right, so here are the recommended answers. So the idea is that you would do the discovering yourself. That's why it's called guided discovery. Find out yourself. I set the tasks, I help you along. In the language clarification, I highlighted semi-fixed structures. That some are fixed and one is an idiom. I asked FCQs. What are FCQs? Any ideas? Have a wild guess. FCQ.
It could be frequency checking questions. Or
You got two words right there. It's actually form checking questions. Like, which is plural? Which is singular? Yeah. Look at the words. Look at the way they're formed. Which is plural? Which is singular? Yeah. So most mornings, most evenings, right? They have plurals. Most of the day, most of the week, most of the year. What's the form there? So sometimes we can use elicitation as well. I also use visual clues on the board. That and controlled and freer practice, as with a PPP or a text-based approach. Okay, we'll see more about the text-based approach later. Okay, and just to finish, some general discussion questions about guided discovery. Okay, so I'd like you to go back to your Google Doc and try to answer. I've reduced it to 5 just to save time. There are 5 questions. Now, what are the characteristics of guided discovery? That's the first question. Okay, so I'd like you to just chat together, try and write an answer, the writer. What does it promote in learners? What happens? Students can't work out the rules. What interaction pattern should be used for guided discovery? And why is this approach to covering language better? Okay, you might think it's not, but why do you think people think it's better? Yeah, just remove that question there. 2, 3. Okay, so it's the same as before. Just continue with the worksheet. I'll give you the links again, shall I? Right, 4 or 5 minutes more in the breakout rooms. Continued your discussion.
Um,
I think that the teacher has point out the main ideas, for example, the plural, singular,
okay.
and yeah, I think. And you?
That is most of hints, and you have to like guess or discover by yourself the vocabulary. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
maybe focus on the remarked vocabulary and guess what the subject is. Remarkable vocabulary. For example, in the frequency expressions, we had to focus on them, then guess what was the target.
Okay.
In the second one,
The second one.
All this, the basic information.
Yeah, to facilitate. Yeah, I don't know how to.
How do you say? Incentivar.
Basic into the
Like
To find out
to let students, I guess.
what of I discovered, to find out I don't know, examples of page web.
I think it would mean like to let students find like a way of
To find out more information about the topic.
not kind of, yeah. But I like at the beginning I would put to let students find out more information about the topic. Yeah.
Yeah. Autonomously.
Yeah. What is I don't know.
All right. I think that's good.
You've got 2 minutes left.
10 minutes.
2 minutes.
Oh, Oh, 2 minutes. What does it promote? And let's go to the next questions. What does it promote?
Maybe it promotes curiosity in students.
Okay.
Hmm.
Curiosity. And there was this thing that Tanya said, like, I think it was, but I can't find it. Like prompting. Or to look for. To look for possible vocabulary, possible words.
Yeah, possible vocabulary. Okay. What's the first one?
So,
All right. Sorry, not all of you got a chance to answer the questions, but don't worry, we can try and answer them now. So what are the characteristics of guided discovery? Alitzel and Melissa.
Yeah, we decided that is focused on the remarkable vocabulary and try to guess the targets. And use possible answers to complete the expressions.
Yeah. Okay, I think first of all, we need to consider that we've got to have a text, right, to give context to the language, right? So the text contains the target language. Then we've got to have some questions to guide, well, let's say instead of basic info, let's say basic questions to guide the students, I would say. Guide and encourage. Yeah, you could say that. And facilitate their knowledge. Yeah. So that they find out about more information about the language, the target language. Right? But they're finding it out themselves. Okay. So to focus their attention straight to the point of the language features. Could also be a test. You could also have a test of a guided discovery. Oh no, okay, so question 2, what is the what does it promote in learners? Angel and Tanya, can you answer that one? It would be, what did you say? You said self-learning. Yeah, that's very good. I like that. Yeah, or thinking for themselves, which is pretty much self-learning, right? Yeah, so let's put that in as well, thinking for themselves. Yeah. Do you think we do enough of that in our language class? Getting our students to think for themselves? We do, or we don't? Sometimes. Do
Which part?
teachers sometimes encourage a passive approach to learning? Yeah, because the teachers are often explaining, right, rather than asking questions. And if you're explaining, the students are just sitting there going, huh? Whereas if you're asking questions, you're activating their brains. So, Guadalupe and Yvonne, what happens if the students can't work out the rules? Control doesn't exist. Well, you've got to have a backup strategy, and the strategy here could be the teacher could do micro teaching. Micro teaching means intervening, getting involved with the students and helping them, right? That's micro teaching. And provide more deductive activities. Deductive is like the opposite of guided discovery. So you give them the rules, and then they apply the rules in examples. Right? So you can always get more explicit if you find the students can't work out the rules. Let's go back to Alitel and Melissa. What interaction pattern should be used for guided discovery? Alitel and Melissa, any ideas? What interaction pattern did we use today?
Maybe the checking questions will be useful.
No, that's not interaction pattern. What are interaction patterns?
Writing,
No,
maybe? No.
no.
Divided in groups.
Well, groups, that's an interaction pattern. Yeah, working groups. What other interaction patterns did we use today? Working
In third.
pairs. Yeah. Typically pair work. Pair work is the most common, probably. Why? Why do we use pair work?
Because they can share their ideas.
Yeah. They share ideas, they can peer teach, self-teach.
Or give input to an idea.
Yeah. Exactly. So why is this approach to covering language better? Angel and Tanya. It's a bit like cocoa wash, this, isn't it? But why do you think that many teachers say that guided discovery is better?
Because
Because it makes it memorable.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
But
I don't know
why-
who's talking, I'm sorry.
Why does it make it more memorable?
Because it's a little hard to trying to figure out what's
Well, it both,
happening.
yeah, critical thinking is difficult, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So it could be that it's a bit harder. Sometimes you might get resistance from students because of this, because they're used to a more passive style, right? They just want the teacher to explain everything. Right? But the problem is if you adopt that style all the time of explaining everything, how can you tell that they're learning? Yeah. So how do you know they're learning at all? So we want them to become more autonomous and less reliant on the teacher. Self-learning we mentioned as well. Okay. So just a few more points and then we can move on to the text-based lesson. Okay. So guided discovery, here we are. So guided discovery is a student-focused, the class being active, involved in working out things for themselves. In this way, by the time the teacher does the language clarification stage of the lesson, students have already had an opportunity to think for themselves. Whether the student is right or wrong at this stage is of low importance, as the two stages, students thinking and the teacher clarifying, are the key points. When students have problems with the grammar, the teacher usually responds by giving them facts about the grammar, explaining the rules. Guided discovery gives you an alternative, right? Helps you to respond in a way that allows you to encourage the students to think for themselves, guiding them to the answer. This leads to a more successful learning experience for the students. It allows you to compare two often confused grammar structures in a meaningful way. Learning is memorable as students are working out the rules, first for themselves and then with the teacher's help. Okay, so are any of you working in schools at the moment? Anyone working in a school right now? No? No one?
No.
No? Alitzel, no, you're not working in a school?
No, me neither. I'm
Okay.
just giving classes by my own.
What about you, Yvonne? No? You're not working in a school.
Oh,
Okay.
Andrew.
Okay, I just wondered if your schools have told you anything about their philosophy. I would say that this philosophy of guided discovery is compatible with the constructivist or social constructivist theory of learning. Yeah, you might have heard of that. All right, so let's continue with another demonstration lesson. Okay, so I'd like you to be the students this time. It's a grammar lesson. So you're going to participate in a grammar lesson. How do you feel about that? And it's the second handout that I gave you, which some of you don't have. So I'll have to give that to you again, won't I? Here we are, text-based demo. There we go. So for those who have it, this is what it looks like. I'll send it, the rest of you, I'll send it to you in chat. All right. So that's our handout. You might find it useful to have this open because we're going to go through it in stages. Just give you a few secs to get that open. So we're going to be discussing important events that have changed your life. Okay. So I'd like you to think about some important events that have shaped your life. Now, I'll give you a personal example. In the year 2000, right, around the turn of the millennium, and it must have been September 2000. And I remember it well because that July, Vicente Fox had just won the presidential election, right? And I was at Angel de la Independencia for the celebrations of that. And so I that year I got a job in a brokerage house, in a Casa de Bolsa, right, on Reforma in Mexico City, right, as a translator, right, translating some of the reports that they would send to New York and other places about Cemex and Bimbo and other Mexican companies, right? So I was just working there as a temporary translator, and the human resources manager took me on a tour of the office, and I was introduced to the different analysts. One of the analysts shook my hand, and we started. We seemed to be a spark, and we started going out together. And 20 years passed, and here I am in Mexico. We got married and had a kid. So if I hadn't taken that translating job in the brokerage house, I wouldn't have met my wife. Yeah? So I want you to briefly tell me about, quickly, one or two examples of things that have shaped your life. Let's ask Tanya.
A few years ago, I got pregnant and I had to leave the school. I was at high school. It was a difficult time for me, and that's it.
Yeah, it sounds like an important change in your life.
Yeah, a huge change.
And what about you, Angel? What was a turning point in your life?
Probably when I moved from my town, when I was the first one. I think is when I moved from my town when I was 15. I was living alone, and the other one
was that difficult for you? Was that difficult for you? That
yeah, it was at the
Why?
beginning. Then I met my friends and was easier.
Okay, good.
And the other one could be when I was living in Ireland, because
Ireland.
Yeah.
Why?
I had to get used to new experiences and new style of life. Well, because my sister was living there, so I don't know. I think was a lot of situations and events in my life.
Sounds interesting. All right, so let's we're going to hear about three. The rest of you, don't worry, you'll have the chance to talk later about your own turning points. But I want you to listen to three people talking about one turning point in their lives and write down the important moment that happened to them. Okay, so we've got Carol, first of all. All right, maybe try and anticipate what the turning point is going to be. Anthony and Michelle. With Michelle, you probably have guessed it's something to do with athletics, right? Sports. So stop that for a second. All right. So this requires an audio. You're going to hear 3 audios. Share sound. All you have to do is note down that one important event for each of them, okay? Let's begin.
Track 31. Carol.
The most important moment in my life was, the day I met Owen. An old friend was having a party, but the weather was so bad that I nearly didn't bother going. Just think, if I'd stayed at home, I wouldn't have met my husband. Anyway, my friend introduced me to Owen and we got on really well. He was only in London for a few days. He's American, you see. And he was supposed to fly back to Boston the following day. But the next morning, Owen called me to say that Heathrow Airport was closed because of ice and snow. He'd have flown home that day if the weather hadn't been so bad. Anyway, he invited me out for lunch and we got to know each other a bit better. He flew home the next day, but by that time we were already madly in love. We got married 2 years later, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Anthony.
For me, probably the biggest turning point in my life was when I lost my job. I was working for an advertising agency, but they got into financial trouble and had to get rid of some people, including me. I got quite depressed at first, but I was getting fed up with working for a big agency anyway, so I decided to start my own online design company. If I hadn't lost my job, I wouldn't have started my own business, but it's been really successful. I've always fancied working from home, and so I moved to the country and bought a nice little cottage. I wouldn't have left London if I'd stayed with the ad agency. I don't get as much money as I used to, but I'm much happier than I was then.
Michelle.
Well, for me, it's probably the day I won my first race. When I was a kid, I used to get into trouble a lot at school, and the only thing I enjoyed was running, which I was always quite good at. Then, one day, my dad took me to the local athletics club. When we got there, I found out that he'd entered me for the 400 metres. I was really nervous, but I won by over 2 seconds. That was the turning point for me. If I hadn't won that race, I'd never have become a serious athlete. I started training really hard, and 3 years later, I managed to get into the British youth athletics team. I've got better as I've got older, and now I want to compete in the next Olympics. So yeah, running's changed my life. If I hadn't started doing this, I'd have got into a lot more trouble. I'm sure of that.
All right, let's switch back. Melissa.
Hi.
Carol. What was the turning point in Carol's life?
The day she met Owen,
Owen, yes. Who turned out to be her
husband.
husband, yes.
Yeah, 3 years
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, great.
Mhm.
Lupita. Anthony.
Anthony, that was when he lost his job, but then he was a business owner. That was his turning point.
That was his turning point, losing his job, yeah. But starting
Yeah,
his
and
own
then
business. Yeah,
he started his own business.
right. So, Yvonne, tell us about Michelle.
Okay, Michelle, when she discovered her passion for the race, he decided to start with this kind of sport, and she wants to compete in the Olympic Games.
Yeah, so when she won a race, that was her turning point. Yeah. Now, we're going to listen again, but this time you've got a different task. I want you to listen and listen. This time we're listening for language. Okay. So let me just get this ready for you. Okay, so I'm going to send you this form, and what we have to do is choose the correct form of the word in the gap, right? So if I'd stay or stayed, what do you think is right? Look at the form around the gap there. What do you think is it stay or stay? If I stay at home, I wouldn't have met my husband.
Stayed.
Stayed, right? Okay. All right. So before you listen again, just try and anticipate what is going to be the correct answer. Just read through how many statements are there? There's 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 statements there. And so I'm sharing with you the form now into the chat. Sorry, I didn't show you the document. There's the document. First of all, the handout. Okay, so please click on where it says forms. Give me the thumbs up if you have it. Can you give me your dedo gordo to confirm? Yeah. So you should have what I have on the screen here. All right. And you move the drop down here, stay or stay. And here it's going to be would have fly or would have flown. Okay. Before we listen, try to anticipate which is the right answer. Okay. So we're going to listen again. And listen for these sentences in the text, because they're all in the text, you know, they're all in the audio we've just heard. So listen carefully, complete them. Sure.
Track 31. Carol.
The most important moment in my life was, the day I met Owen. An old friend was having a party, but the weather was so bad that I nearly didn't bother going. Just think, if I'd stayed at home, I wouldn't have met my husband. Anyway, my friend introduced me to Owen and we got on really well. He was only in London for a few days. He's American, you see. And he was supposed to fly back to Boston the following day. But the next morning, Owen called me to say that Heathrow Airport was closed because of ice and snow. He'd have flown home that day if the weather hadn't been so bad. Anyway, he invited me out for lunch and we got to know each other a bit better. He flew home the next day, but by that time we were already madly in love. We got married 2 years later, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Anthony.
For me, probably the biggest turning point in my life was when I lost my job. I was working for an advertising agency, but they got into financial trouble and had to get rid of some people, including me. I got quite depressed at first, but I was getting fed up with working for a big agency anyway, so I decided to start my own online design company. If I hadn't lost my job, I wouldn't have started my own business, but it's been really successful. I've always fancied working from home, and so I moved to the country and bought a nice little cottage. I wouldn't have left London if I'd stayed with the ad agency. I don't get as much money as I used to, but I'm much happier than I was then.
Michelle.
Well, for me, it's probably the day I won my first race. When I was a kid, I used to get into trouble a lot at school, and the only thing I enjoyed was running, which I was always quite good at. Then, one day, my dad took me to the local athletics club. When we got there, I found out that he'd entered me for the 400 metres. I was really nervous, but I won by over 2 seconds. That was the turning point for me. If I hadn't won that race, I'd never have become a serious athlete. I started training really hard, and 3 years later, I managed to get into the British youth athletics team. I've got better as I've got older, and now I want to compete in the next Olympics. So yeah, running's changed my life. If I hadn't started doing this, I'd have got into a lot more trouble. I'm sure of that.
Easy, no? Oops. There we go. So please submit your answers. And to submit, you've got to press that little purple button at the bottom. Can you see it there where it says submit? Submit your answers and let's check. This is the exciting part. I can see how many responses there are. 5. Fantastic, yeah. So we all agree that stayed is the right answer in the first one. I had flown, very good. Wouldn't have, yeah. Good. I'd have got, yes, that's correct. Fantastic, 100%. Everyone got them all right. That's good that you're obviously, this is designed for upper intermediate learners going into advanced. So this shows your level in a way. Okay, now we're going to do some questions about the language. Let me just confirm the answers for you. Those are the right answers. Okay, so we're going to answer some questions, a bit like we did with the guided discovery lesson, but it's obviously grammar rather than vocabulary this time. Okay, and this is we're going to use this tool called Google Forms again, which is free to use, and we'll be encouraging you to design activities a bit like this with your students. Maybe not as on advanced language points like this, because your students will be lower level, right? But similar techniques. Okay, so I want you to read the sentences again, but do this individually this time, and answer the questions. So, first question, what is the time references? Do the questions talk about the past or the present? I'm not going to ask you yet. I want you to think about it by reading the sentences. There's a slight mistake with F. It should be if I hadn't started doing this. Do they talk about something real or imaginary? You've got to make the choice. Can the events be changed? Yes or no? Okay, so the first 3 about meaning, the meaning and use of these sentences. Then we've got a set of questions about the form. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 6 minutes to work individually on this, and then you're going to compare answers in pairs to see if you have the same answers. Okay, when the 6 minutes are up, I'd like you to press submit. Okay, probably G will take you most time because you've got to write the structure of the third conditional. All right, so into the chat is coming M&F. Please click on there. Can you confirm that you have this in front of you? Yeah, okay. About 5 to 6 minutes then. Work on your own. All right, so time's up. Now, this is not a test, okay? So if you're feeling confident, you can submit already by pressing the button. If you prefer, you can wait till after you've discussed with your partner. Okay?
I should have waited.
Oh, it's all right. Don't worry. It's not a test. Yeah. You can clarify. I think you can have another go if you wish. Okay, so I'm going to open the rooms, the breakout rooms now, and I'd like you to discuss with your partner what you think were the right answers. Okay. Sometimes you get some interesting differences. Let's begin. So Alitzel, Tanya this time. Angel, Yvonne, Lupita, and Melissa. All right. A shorter time. I'll give you 4 minutes, no longer. Starting now. Maybe one of you could share the screen.
I cannot do it. I don't know
Alitzel,
why.
can you? And maybe, are you using a tablet?
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen, but I've already sent my answers, so I remember the response.
Okay, that's all right. You could,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Just compare your answers. See what you think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got what is the time reference? I put the past.
Yeah, that's
speaking
right.
about past.
Correct.
What about do they talk about something that is real or imaginary? I choose that is something imaginary.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Can the events be changed?
That day if the weather hadn't been so bad. That is real.
Well, I think it's imaginary because
He didn't fly
Yes.
home.
he is doing a question. What will happen if I don't? Or kind of, well, some complex, but I think, I'm pretty sure that is
Yeah.
imaginary.
Yeah.
hypothetical.
You're right. It is because it didn't actually happen. She didn't actually fly home. Right?
Letter C, can the events be changed?
No.
If I hadn't lost my job, I wouldn't have to start my own business. Can the events be changed? No.
No, we can't.
Letter D, I wouldn't have left London if I
We use past perfect in. I said
I think I said the if
okay, we use past perfect. Past perfect aspect. I said the main clause, but I think I'm wrong. I didn't understand that question that much, neither the answer.
like past perfect, like when we use I wouldn't have.
Okay.
Like if I wouldn't have, or I wouldn't have if. So I think it's the if clause.
Okay, the if. Okay. And yeah.
Honestly, the main clause, I don't
No.
I wasn't really sure what it was.
Me
so,
neither. Yeah.
So the next question
Maybe
is like a
it's
question mark.
Yeah. The E, we use wouldn't have plus past participle in. I said the if conditional clause.
Okay, I think I put main clause, but I put that, but I'm like, I really don't know.
Yeah. Because it's if wouldn't have been. If I wouldn't have been, that's what we've been talking about in this text. If he wouldn't have flown or something like that. So I think it's the if. And does the if clause always come first in the sentence in the third conditional? Always come first. I think it does.
I said no, I think.
Okay.
Oh. What do you think it does?
I think it does because if I stayed at home or if I hadn't lost my job, if I hadn't won that race, I think it comes first.
All right. Well, sorry, some of you were cut short, but we just have to move on to maintain the timing. Well, let's check the answers then. Please, if you haven't done so already, please submit your answers by pressing submit. And let's check. We've got 6 responses. So this is correct. It was the past. Oh, 50-50. The answer is it's hypothetical or imaginary. Yeah. Can it be changed? No is the answer. We use past perfect in the if clause. Yes, we do. We use wouldn't plus have, would or wouldn't plus have plus the past participle in the main clause. That is correct. Does the if clause always come first in the sentence in the third conditional? The answer is no. Because can it be changed? Can I play around with my clauses? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes, you can change them, can't you? Yeah. It depends on the emphasis the speaker wants to make. Now, if the if clause goes first, what divides the two clauses?
A comma.
A comma. Do we use a comma if the if clause goes second?
No.
No, we don't, because that works as the conjunction linking the sentence. Yeah, like in D, you notice there's no comma. Right. Great, good job, everyone. Now, just check on your which is the best one. Oh, this is good. I like this one. Yeah, that's very accurate. This is almost there, but you missed the have. Past perfect, yeah. Subject would or wouldn't. Yeah, you need the negative there. So it's almost right, but not quite right. So this is the best one, though, isn't it? Yeah. Good job. You guys know your grammar. Okay, so what are we missing? We've done meaning, form. So what do we need to do now? We need to do what everyone dreads, pronunciation. All right. So I want you to listen carefully to this first sentence, which I'm going to read, not live, but a recording. I've done this deliberately so it's consistent. Right? You've got to choose which is the best choice of how we pronounce have and the contractions, like I'd, wouldn't, right? Which is the best choice there? That's all you have to do. Okay, so let me share with you the pronunciation one. Please click on. Please confirm that you have the form. Tanya? Confirms. Melissa, what about you? Yeah, okay, thank you. Great.
Yes.
All right, so,
All right.
okay, so we're going to listen first, and then you've got to choose the right option, okay? So, don't go too fast there. Here we go.
Right.
Wait. Don't do anything yet, because you've got to listen before you can make a decision about what is the right choice, okay? Gotta listen first. Don't touch anything. Ne touchez pas. All right. Okay, here we go.
I wouldn't have the.
Now listen.
If I'd have stayed at home, I wouldn't have met my husband.
Okay, I'll play it again.
If I'd have stayed at home, I wouldn't have met my husband.
Okay, so go ahead and press the first answer. Do the first one.
If I hadn't lost, if I hadn't lost my job, I wouldn't have hurt
Okay, let's check.
my own.
Okay, I want to see your responses.
If I hadn't lost my job, I wouldn't have turned my
Please submit your responses. Just for the first one, yeah? That's it. Okay, let's interesting. Okay, the answer actually is the blue one. Yeah, the blue one. Because it's not aid, it's not wouldn't, and it's not have, because have is the strong form. Right? So it's I'd, wouldn't, and of. Because the have is weak. So we don't say have, we say of in that sentence. And it's not wouldn't, because the oo is long. So it's wouldn't. I wouldn't. Yeah? So the first one is right. Okay. The other words are stressed, so they're strong. Although we do stress the negative, wouldn't. Okay, now, that was a bit tricky, but the next one, you're going to listen to two sentences and you've got to choose which best represents the stress in the sentence. Is it sentence one or is it sentence two? Yeah, look at the way the stress is indicated on the words. Okay. I wouldn't have left London if I stayed with the ad agency. Is it sentence one or sentence two, which is the best representation? Let's play. Play it twice each one. When we're done, you submit.
If I'd stayed at home, I wouldn't have met my husband. If I'd lost my job, I wouldn't have started my own business.
Play that one again.
Have met my husband. If I'd lost my job, I wouldn't have started my own business. If I'd lost my job, I wouldn't have started my own business. I wouldn't have left London if I'd stayed with the ad agency. I wouldn't have left London if I'd stayed with the ad agency. If I'd have stayed at
Okay. I won't keep playing that because even with a recorded model, it can sometimes be a bit funny. So please submit your answers. Okay, so which represents the stress in the sentence? Okay, let's have a look. So you say sentence 1 is the best representation. Yes, you're right. Sentence 1 is the best. Most people put the blue one, sentence 1. And most people put sentence, everyone puts sentence 2 as the best one in C. That's right. Okay. Let's try and copy the stress pattern of these two sentences. And we'll do it as a choral drill. That means everyone together repeat after me. Let me say the sentence first and everyone repeats, okay? If I hadn't lost my job, I wouldn't have started my own business. If I hadn't lost my job,
I
I
wouldn't have
started
my own business.
Very good. Now I'm going to choose one person to do it individually. Achel, can you repeat?
Yes. If I hadn't lost my job, I wouldn't have started my own business.
Good. Just try and put the id on the end of started, yeah? Started.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so repeat it one more time.
If I hadn't lost my job, I wouldn't have started my own business.
Fantastic. Okay, now the next one. I wouldn't have left London if I'd stayed with the ad agency. Everybody. Todos.
I wouldn't
I wouldn't have left London
if
I
I
stayed with the agency.
Yeah. Alitzel, can you repeat, please?
Yeah, I couldn't have left London if I stayed with the ad agency.
Good. Nice. Now, time is moving on, so I'm going to give you a little bit of practice. Okay. On the word wall. So, simple activity, it's like control practice, and you've got to move the words into the right place. Please click on. Should take you about 3 or 4 minutes to do this. Do the first one as an example. Okay, I'll let you do the other ones. Go ahead and do it independently. All right, I'm sure you can do this very well. So I'll just show you the answers there. You can take a screenshot if you want. And then we're going to move on and just do a bit of freer practice. Okay, I'd like you to think about 3 turning points in your life But use these ideas to give it some structure. So think about people that you've met. Yeah. So I mentioned I wouldn't have met my wife if I hadn't taken that translating job in the Casa de Bolsa or brokerage house. Places you've visited or lived in. If I hadn't met my wife, I wouldn't have stayed in Mexico City. I would have returned to the United Kingdom, most likely. Situations or work or study. If I'd returned to the United Kingdom, I'd be working probably in the field of financial journalism rather than as an English teacher. Okay, so I'd like you to find your slide, okay, and make some notes. Okay, so Alitzal, this is yours. Just so the making notes helps you to get your thoughts together, yeah? Angel, you can make some notes on yours. Number 10, number 9. So Alitzal's 9. Angel's 10. Evelyn's not here. Let's get rid of that. Yvonne's here. Paula's not here. Tanya and Melissa. Falta alguien. Lupe. Lupita, sorry. Lupita, you're at the end. Okay, so here's the link. You can go into the slides and write your notes on there. Please click on, find your slide. Litzel, have you found it? Angel, yeah, Angel, you're 10. Yvonne, you're 11. Tanya, yeah. Alyssa, okay. So just make some notes about each of those things. Okay, so I'm going to put you into groups again so you can talk about your turning points. using this language. And I'm just going to give you, we're almost out of time because you're going to go for your break soon. And then after the break, it's going to be Vicky taking over and she's going to be doing a different topic. But I'd like you to, between today and next week, when I meet you again, I'd like you to think about this text-based lesson, okay? Just think about it. You've got this link, which I've shared with you. So you can go in and write in some notes in answer to these questions. This lesson that you've just seen today with the third conditional. How did I introduce the language? What did the learners do to focus on the language? Where did the marker or example sentences come from? How was the meaning covered? What did the learners do to work out the form? How did the teacher cover the pronunciation? And what did the learners do afterwards? All right, so those are some questions for you to think about today's demonstration. And at the beginning of next week's class, we'll just go over this as a reminder, okay? But I'd like us to finish with you actually doing some speaking, okay? So I'll put you back into the breakout rooms, and I'd like you to talk about these turning points, okay? And I'll be listening in. I'm opening the rooms now. Please go to your rooms. You'll still have access to the presentation.
Yeah, if I hadn't taken Japanese classes, I wouldn't have met my boyfriend.
Oh.
In places, if I had saved enough money, I'd have visited Canada.
If I hadn't spent money on parties, I would have traveled to the beach or go to the United Kingdom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nearly the same sense.
Yes.
I would have visited Canada also. In situations, if I hadn't changed my career, I wouldn't have been, I could say, the happiest person in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy now. What about you?
I don't know. I didn't wrote anything. I'm thinking.
For example, that's my example. What about you, Yvonne? What's some turning points that you have in your life?
Okay, people you've met. If I hadn't worked at the bank, I wouldn't have met my best friend and partner. Places to visit is if I hadn't earned enough money in 2019, I wouldn't have traveled to Punta Cana.
Okay, situations.
Okay, other work and study. Okay, other if I had not if I had not maybe okay if I had not earned, if I had not
Yeah. But I think we got our answers right. Do you want to review yours? Do you think we have a mistake?
I think we're good.
Yeah, me too. I think mine is good. I hope I don't have too many mistakes. I think we got the idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a comma? Yeah, after if I hadn't.
I would say got married.
No,
I wouldn't have
I don't
got
think so.
married.
Okay.
Yeah, or Americans
Oh,
might say
right.
gotten. Yeah?
Gotten married. Got. I wouldn't
Got or
have got married.
gotten.
Got.
Okay.
Got or
Got
gotten. Does gotten
married.
that also work?
Yeah, American is gotten. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been pregnant, I would still be working. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Or again, you probably get pregnant. Or
Get. Okay. Get.
haven't got.
got.
If I hadn't
Yeah.
got, yeah.
If I hadn't got.
Gotten.
If I hadn't gotten.
Got.
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 I say gotten a lot. Is that like much like more informal or is
Well,
that
no,
the
it's
same?
just American English, correct American English. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, let's return, shall we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting to get to know you a little bit better through these turning point reflections. Yeah. We're just about ready to go to break now. Just share with you just so that maybe if you didn't see other people answers, you can see them. And let's say if you hadn't taken Japanese classes, I wouldn't have met my boyfriend. If I'd saved enough money, I would have gone to Canada, she said. If I hadn't changed my career, I wouldn't have been happy. Oh. What was your career, Alitza?
I was studying tourism, but nowadays I'm studying foreign languages.
Okay, I think you mean degree.
Degree, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Degree is more like your career is more like your professional trajectory, huh?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Alitza. Okay, very precise. Yeah. I think probably rather than known, you would say learned about. I would have learned about. Yeah. What does MS mean? If I hadn't worked from MS. Okay.
From Monday to Sunday.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, good. Tanya. She took her internship in IH. Oh, very good. Yeah, just hadn't. Yeah. Traveled or been or gone. And it's usually the UK, like the USA. Unless Just pointing out the got or gotten is both possible and correct. Gotten is gotten British or American?
I think it's more British.
No, it's more American.
Oh.
Yeah. So get married, get pregnant. Yeah. And Lupita. Oh. I think you need, if I hadn't studied English, because in the if clause, it needs to be the past perfect. Yeah. Good. Just a correction there. So just remember to bring your, try and do the reflection.
We had a question. Since we're like, the reflection is like in peers, or is it just like?
You can both work together on it. Yeah?
Okay.
It's not a formal tarea, but I would like to discuss what you next week, what you remember about the text-based lesson. Yeah. So you can both write your notes, and then we'll have a quick discussion next week before we do anything else. Yeah. So I'll see you next week at the same time. But I've got to make room for you now to have a break, because you've got another session, another 2 hours coming up with Vicky. Okay. So you've got a break till 18:45.
Okay.
See you then.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. And if you
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. If you've got any questions about text-based approach, we'll talk about them next week as well.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll leave my computer on until Vicky comes in, and then I'll leave. Okay. But you can go now for your break.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, pleased to see you. Bye.